How are we going, everyone? Hope you're enjoying Bruno and Connie's garden. How wonderful are those tomatoes, beans and cucumbers. Today we're going to talk about pruning. Fruit trees. I did one a few days ago and a lot of emails came through saying, well, you showed us the finished product. But I did mention in previous little episodes that we're going to go through it stage by stage. We're going to do some more advanced trees. Well, these are about 7 or 8 years of age. This is an apricot you're looking at here now. About a year and a half, 2 years ago, it was on the brink of extinction because it had a lot of dieback on it, gummosis developing on it, so it wasn't getting pruned properly. We've come along and we've cleaned it up, and this is the result of a couple of good prunes on it and a bit of maintenance, a bit of mulch. It's just jumped back with joy. Now there hasn't been any fruit, but we're going to prune it back now to get it down in height, because look at the size of it. This tree, honestly, it was probably about 5 foot tall when I finished with it. This is last year, just below my height. And now it's pushing at least 3 meters, 4 meters maybe. And if I let it go, it'll double in size next year. So we're going to cut it back. It's called a summer prune. The only thing you've got to be careful of if you've got any dead, disease or damaged wood is to cut it back to a bud. Now, this is not anything fancy, but something like that is what we're talking about. Cutting it back to a bud there, just above it, slight angle. It's typical to what you would do with a rose when you're pruning back a rose. But I'm pretty heavy-handed on it when it comes to pruning in summertime, and the apricot needs to be pruned. I cut it back, and I don't really monitor precisely where I prune it. I will do that a little bit later on, but for now, because we've got summer, supposedly summer, today again a really bad day, high winds and rain on and off. You can see the leaves are a little bit wet. We just had a drop of rain. I'm not too concerned about any gummosis developing. It's in winter when you prune and the tree's dormant that you've got to be careful in making sure your tools are clean and that you cut it precisely. There's no tear, no damage to the cambium layer where the tree can start oozing sap, and do not over fertilize especially. So come to pruning, let's just get into it. We're just going to shove our hand in there and prune somewhere comfortably. We can go back and inspect it later on. The aim here is to bring the summer growth back down to arm's reach, which means where you can reach up to, just below that stretch. You don't want to go straight to the tip of where you can reach, because the new growth will start from there upwards again. We want to bring it down much lower than that, but for summer you can do that for now, meaning arm's reach. Then in winter you can bring it back down a little bit more. If the tree allows for it, you can prune it down harder, but every tree is different unless they're identical in shape and size. So what we're going to do now, as you can see, is I'm going in and just going to thin it out. Get out all the inner parts. And like I said, I'm not looking for a specific bud to cut back to at the moment. I'm just cutting back so I can get in there and clean it out. The aim is to bring it down and aerate it. All right, look, this is one of the old branches, so I left it on. You can see the very old stuff down here, old wood, a little bit of a lichen on the tree when it was not so healthy. We're going to take this branch off. This is my low or lowy number 1, just gets around it and will prune us. Now I'm going to use 2 hands because I dare say it will be a little bit tough. There's no way I could do this. I'm actually cutting on a knot. Just noticed it on the other side. There's no way you could do this with the secateurs, a normal pair of secateurs. Done. That's a decent size. What I want to do is get a nice balance of branching on it, a nice open vase shape, lots of sunlight in the middle, but I'm not going to achieve the perfect prune now that I've got so much foliage on it. All I'm going to do is bring it down as I have, and in winter we're going to go back when all the leaves have fallen and we can see where all the branches are and where they're overlapping. That's when we're going to go in and clean it up properly and then cut it back to a proper bud, 2 or 3 buds back from a main trunk or branch, so that we can get it to start fruiting. And that's all we want to do. But for now, again, just keep cutting until you can bring it down to a manageable height, just like that. That's all I'm doing. And if you're asking what's the point about a summer prune compared to a winter prune, well, it's quite simple. If you wait till winter, mid-winter to even late winter to prune your tree, the first reaction it will have to that prune in springtime is to put on growth. Growth that you've taken off dramatically all in the one go with the one prune. What we do here with the summer prune is we actually put the tree back into a growth spurt straight after the summer prune, but it won't be anywhere as big as or as aggressive as it is now. And look, have a look at them. They're at least 2 or 3 meters each shoot on those branches. So that growth is what we're taking off now, and any new growth that comes off that will be something like this, nowhere near as aggressive. So what we do in winter is go back, clean it up, the tree's settled down, it's accepted the prune, so then comes springtime, it starts to flower and produce more fruit for you at the end of the day. Now the apricot is slightly different. We're going to wait till very late winter, early spring to prune that back. But as far as the pruning technique with every other fruit tree, that's what we're going to demonstrate with you. I'm going to go back and finish this tree off, but in the meantime, tune into 3AW if you're watching this live, as we've just uploaded it. Not live, meaning just uploaded, because guess who's joining us as a special guest? That's Mama. That's right, Mama, my mum on 3AW. God help us, eh? And also Vasili's Garden website, we've got our buy one, get one free special, which ends at midnight. So get your Vasili's Choice product that you love to use in your garden with a bonus freebie with every order that you place. And our 20% discount. 3AW is the code word. Enjoy yourself. From me, Vasili, Maresi.